let's segue a second for joint custody.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
Well, joint custody involves shared parenting time, something more than the every other weekend. So joint custody could look like, if the parents live in kind of a close proximity of each other, it could look like week on, week off.
Okay.
A true 50-50 time.
Literally 50-50.
It could also look like, let's say, for instance, mom has every Monday and Tuesday overnight, dad has every Wednesday and Thursday overnight, and then from Friday to Monday drop off at school, they alternate. That's also a true 50-50. And so I've gotten that for, moms and dads,
And so when parents have 50-50 custody, who pays who child support?
Well, it depends on the income. So what we'll do is we'll do a child support worksheet, and we'll do a split parenting. So sometimes in those instances, we'll do 2 worksheets and see what it comes out to be.
Okay.
All right? And, sometimes if dad has a higher income than mom, he's still going to be paying mom some child support, but he's going to have what's called a parenting time deviation.
Okay.
Because he has 50-50 time. All right? So mom can still get child support in that instance, but it might be less. Let's say if their income is, not too far off.
Let's call it equal.
There may be no child support in that case.
And that's what I was wondering if you were going to say that.
That there may be none.
Now, I'm sure you have seen parents, and I guess it could be on either side, who want 50-50 custody so they don't have to pay child support.
All the time. But you can tell who's sincere, because when you want 50-50 time, you're going to do the things necessary for the child when the child's in your custody.
Okay.
Like I've seen men fight, not my clients. I represent all good daddies. Anyway, but I've seen men fight for 50-50 time, especially during the pandemic, right? So we're doing online learning.
Right.
Dad is bringing a kid over to mom to do the online school. Now, wait a minute, sir.
No.
If you have,
these are your
50-50
days.
time,
Right.
you should do the time.
Right.
But the same thing goes for mom. Mom works, and during her time, she's shipping the kid over to dad. So what does dad do? Now he wants primary physical custody.
Okay.
So a lot of people want 50-50 custody so they don't have to pay child support. Right. But you also have to handle all the obligations that come with having the children with you primarily. So some people can handle it, some don't. But I normally can tell before the case is over who's real and who's simply just not trying to pay child support.
And so, Tanya, let's assume the parents have gone to court, whether it's joint custody, this 50-50 that you're talking about, or maybe one parent is awarded primary custody. The other parent wants to make a change. I lost custody. Now I want to have 50-50 custody or primary custody.
Okay.
How do I go about making that change?
Well, first of all, if there's already a court order that spells out who has what custody, there has to be a change in circumstance. And let's talk about that scenario where there's 50-50 custody, and let's say that mom in this instance is just not handling her share.
She's not doing her part
of the responsibilities.
Right.
Well, you don't let that happen for 1 week and then you run the court.
Okay.
No, you need to let that happen. Actually, need to kind of let it happen for a period of time, document it, communicate with mom about it. Why are you not getting our kid when it's your time?
Right.
Oh, I gotta work. I gotta this. Oh, I've gotten married.
Okay.
I've got my honeymoon, and now my husband and I had a woman. Okay,
Yeah.
You got married, you got your new husband, and
Right.
that's great, but you still are a parent.
Right.
And so you can't get married, get your new husband, and then you're constantly putting your child off to dad. Now you're mad because he's filed for primary custody.
Right.
Come on now, he's going to get it.
Right.
Especially if he's allowed enough time. I tell people to keep like a parenting time log because we need some facts.
Okay.
We can't just go in court with your desire.
Right.
I want to say something about joint custody, though.
Okay.
Joint custody tends to work with parents who get along. All right? I don't see any judges, not many, awarding joint physical custody with parents who live way too far apart.
Okay. Which makes sense.
Yeah. Or parents who hate each other. Like, it's toxic when they're in the same space.
How often do you see that toxic in the same? Most of the time?
I wouldn't say most, but it's not uncommon.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Okay.
So sometimes people just do not get along. And us ladies who are bitter about the relationship and try to either withhold the child,
Right.
or we're saying a lot of negative things to the child about that, be careful.
Right.
You could lose custody. In fact, in the code section, one of the factors that the court considers is whether a parent will foster a co-parenting relationship with the other parent, between the child and the other parent.
How likely are you to be the one working with the other parent, which is obviously in the best interest of the child?
Right. So you're encouraging the child to, like if there's some kind of inhibition that's just getting involved, encourage the child. But then some ladies are like, I'm not losing custody. I know what he's up to.
Right.
You just be the best mom you could be.
Right.
I think that's important.
But obviously, what you're talking about, making any changes,
it's a petition for modification that has to be filed. Typically, like child support, once you have a child support order.
Okay.
Right? Typically, the first modification can be filed at any time when there's a change in circumstance. After that, it has to be every 2 years. That's for child support. Now, I know some people are like, every 2 years. That's not what they said at the Department of Child Support Services.
Right.
That's because they only do it every 3 years because of the volume of cases that they have.
See, I didn't realize that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Get your private lawyer and you can get all the law.
Okay.
Not just the part they want to just drip and trickle in for you at DCSS.
So every 2 years.
They're going to come for me for saying that. But this is a fact.
You're not worried about that, though.
I'm totally not worried at all.
Right.
Yes. So it's important to know. But there has to be some kind of situation.
Change in circumstance.
A change in circumstance that warrants,
Okay.
A change in the custodial relationship between the parents and the child.
One thing we haven't talked about are children with special needs. So are there any rules different in the context of custody or anything else that people need to consider?
Yes. So the court does consider how in tune each parent is with the needs of the child.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of children that have special needs.
Sure.
And both parents need to be involved. So, if you have a child with autism, you're not involved, or you have a child with another disability, a ADHD or something else, or, maybe a handicap.
Right.
And you're not involved, you can forget asking for custody. You better know everything about it. I'm talking about every specialist.
Right.
You better go to some of those doctor's appointments.
All those appointments,
you
right.
have to know how to care for your child.
Right.
Here's another thing. A lot of children have allergies and asthma.
Okay.
And so you got parents, I had a case where a guy wanted custody. And I can tell right off, I'll do a quick little interview. I'll throw some question out like this. What's your daughter's teacher's name?
Right.
It's like a deer in head.
Right.
Yeah. Or who does your daughter have insurance with?
The basics, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You don't know the teacher's name.
Come on now, right?
Does your child have any allergies?
Right.
I don't know. The mom handles that. Well,
Right.
then, sir, why are you here
trying to get custody?
asking for custody?
Right.
Mom has taken care of this child. But conversely, Mom, if Dad's going to do that stuff, you need to be equal and know
It's
all the
equal.
same information too.
Right. Goes both ways.
Because we do have a lot of career women.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. And a lot of times they may be with a man who has a more flexible job.
Right.
Whether they're self-employed or they have a job that allows them to work at home.
Right.
And so that is infinitely more involved and
Right.
in tune with the children.
Absolutely.
Special needs,
Absolutely.
allergies, everything. And then now y'all break up and you're trying to figure out why am I going to lose custody? Dad knows more, and it's just in the best interest of the children.
Okay.
Of course, unfit mothers lose custody, but I'm finding that ladies don't know you do not have to be unfit.
Unfit.
Maybe I should the camera.
Yeah.
You do not have to be unfit to
Right.
lose custody of
Right.
your children.
Right.
And so, you got to be in tune with what's going on.
And I believe you when you say that, but that's even difficult for me to believe that. I know it's true. I know you're telling the
You've
truth.
seen it.
I know, but it's just like as a mother and as a woman, I too would think automatically that I would win.
Why would you think that? Tell me that.
And
I'll talk you through this.
Maybe because I think that's the way that it's always been. Maybe because
No.
I think I'm the mother.
Okay.
Maybe I think
That
that's
means
a
what?
special.
Some judges really get offended when moms say that
Just
on the
assume
stand.
that, right.
When I have female clients, I'm like, please don't say
right.
because I am the mother.
Right.
You know,
right.
because
so what?
Here's the big kicker. Dads are not second-class parents.
Right.
They're not.
Right.
They're equal. And so, therefore, you need to govern yourself accordingly.
Right.
Just be the best mom you can be.
Right.
Or if you have that type of career where you know you can't put that time in and dad can, now you're splitting.
Right.
Let's work it out.
Let's work it out.
Don't go in court and lose. Let's
Right.
work it out.
Right.
You know what's in your child's best interest. You don't have to spend all that money with us lawyers fighting when you know doggone well
Right.
you can't put in that time.
Right. And I think that's really important to mention because obviously there are a lot of career-oriented women.
Yes.
You know, whether corporate America, they're entrepreneurs and they are really focused on the career. It doesn't mean
Yes.
that they're bad moms.
Right?
But obviously, they don't have the infrastructure or the support system to live both lives.
Well, you know, and again, don't forget you can have family support.
Okay.
So if you're the career woman and you've got a friend, a neighbor, a family member
Your
that
mom
can
is
assist
helping.
you,
Right.
that's always good.
Okay.
But you can't put the entire responsibility off on your mom.
Okay.
Or the entire responsibility off on your girlfriends.
Or your nanny. Right.
Or your nanny.
Right.
You know, so nannies are important. So how does a dad who needs a nanny, how in the world does he get custody?
Please tell me.
Well, you know, sometimes mom's up in court asking for a whole lot of child support.
Right.
And depending on the judge, see, you know, I tell clients it's important for us to know our judge because judges have discretion.
Right.
And the judge makes the decision.
Right.
All right. So if dad is stable, but he works too and he
Right.
has a nanny,
Right.
and you're sitting in here saying, well, I need $50,000 a month in child support because, you know, dad's a millionaire.
Right. What does that have to do with anything?
The
Right.
judge is really going to look at you a little sideways and dig a little deeper and see what that is. And you know what's so funny? It always seems to be like a correlation. Those particular mothers aren't really, you know, winning the tiebreaker on all the issues that the court looks at in making the decision.
Right.
You know, they may want the more money, but they're out here doing other things, and, you know, not spending the time with the kid. You know, so it's a lot of factors that the court has to consider. And so it's important, for all moms who get into these custody battles, to really get an attorney and get an attorney quickly, an attorney that practices family law, not one that's going to hook you up
Right.
and do your case for you. But, you know, they're a friend of yours. They really
Right.
do consumer law, but
Right.
they're going to do you,
Right. This is nothing to play with.
No,
Right.
no.
But people have to understand that lawyers are like doctors. You know, if you have a rash, you don't go to your cardiologist.
That's right.
It's
That's
the
right.
exact same thing. Right. Just a couple more questions for you.
Yes.
How important is social media? So when you think
Some of the best evidence I have, honey.
Lord.
Oh my God, ladies! If you're gonna be posting
Right.
yourself near nude, and you're in a custody battle,
Right.
know that, honey, these are exhibits that will be
Right.
before the court.
right.
Yes.
Yes.
That's an excellent question.
Right.
Same thing with people who try to pretend like they're broke.
They're broke, right.
But on social
But
media,
you in Miami every other weekend.
Yeah, you know,
driving your Bentley.
you got this, that, you just
Right.
bought a new condo
Right.
that you're renting.
Right.
It's that you don't even live there. You're renting it to someone else.
Right, right.
Okay, so you know you're balling out of control.
Right.
You're talking about your drip and everything. Then you're in court saying, "Well,
Yeah, how broke you
that's
are."
just really what we do, kind of
Right.
in the industry
Right.
for our fan base."
Right.
Let me see that corporate Amex. I can tell you where the money is.
Right. Right.
So, very important.
Okay.
If you're involved in litigation for custody, you probably need to make your social media page
Right.
private. Now,
Private.
of course, if that's how you earn your income,
Right.
then you really got to be mindful that your posts are going to be evidence.
Right. And so everybody, please remember that anything that you're posting on any social media platform
Anything.
or that your friends are posting
Yes.
about your life,
With you in there.
with you in there,
Honey,
absolutely.
people will
That's
screenshot
evidence.
that story. You think 24 hours, they didn't see it. I don't know. It's Exhibit A right here. Like, oh, my God.
But it's funny that we're talking about that. But, you know, as I've had to talk and coach some of my relatives who've had some challenges with custody and child support, that's the very first thing I'm saying. Screenshot everything. This is how we are going to build the case.
Yes.
Right.
In fact, I tell them to do the screenshots before we even serve the other side.
Okay. So
because
that way
once
you don't
they
put them
get
on
served,
notice.
some of
they
them
might
are
try
smart.
to water it down a little bit.
They'll start deleting or they'll archive a post to the case. Hey, you didn't know about it. Archive.
Evidence.
Yes.
Right.
It's used a lot.
Right.
Yeah. So text messages too.
Okay.
So you can't on text message curse out the daddy.
Right.
Call his new lady all sorts of names on text message now.
Right. Come on now.
You can't do that. And
it's all evidence.
It is evidence, yes. So I had a lady, well, now I've said it, but you have to be mindful of what you put in your text messages. Let me just say that. You can't say that you're trying to foster a good co-parenting relationship, but you're doing the crazy text. Oh, newsflash, in Georgia, only one side needs to know that the recording is being made. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So let's say you like to go off on your child's father or even in person at the exchanges.
Right.
He can record that.
Does not
and
have to
use
tell
it in
you.
Court.
He doesn't have to tell you.
This is not California. He does not have to tell you, hey, I'm recording. All he got to do is really do like put his phone on video, put it in his pocket, and you are going off. I had a gentleman who was able to get, he's like, I don't want to take the child away, but I do want 50-50 time. Right. So every exchange, the woman is going off.
Ballistic, right.
Yeah, and then when they do the exchange, she's just got some reason, she's picking fights. He can go, he's just hitting record now. Right. Nothing. Oh my God, just nothing. Right. Like, what are you talking about? Why didn't you bring the shoes back? Right. I bought those shoes.
Yeah. So you just go in court and you're like, play. Right.
I do. Right. I do. I have my client authenticate the audio recording.
Right.
Yes.
I see your smile over there.
Yes.
I see my husband smiling back over here.
The recordings have won some cases.
How can it not, though?
Yeah. So, ladies, sometimes we get angry and this is chess, not checkers. Right. So when you find yourself in litigation involving the custody of your child, you need to make sure you monitor your social media, monitor your behavior, watch your text messages, emails, DMs. All these types of things can be used as evidence. Hey, don't start talking to your ex's friends via text.
Right. Absolutely.
That could be an exhibit too. So you've really got to be mindful. You got to make sure that you encourage the child to visit with dad, but not so much where you're going to lose custody. You're not taking care of your kids over there 60% of the time, and then when dad files for custody, you're up in arms. Well, why shouldn't he have the kid? The kid's already there.
Already there. Right. And it sounds like women need to just assume that their phone calls and even, like you said, exchange of the child, that all potentially could be recorded.
It can be recorded and used in court.
Okay.
So, if you like to pop off, figure out a way to not do that.
Right.
Figure out something to maintain whatever you're trying to accomplish. If you want primary physical custody, just be a good mom.
Right.
And
that's simple. But you know what, though?
But you got to be even better than dad because, dad could be a good dad. Lots of cases have a good mom and a good dad. Yeah. And so the court goes through these factors, and then they have to weigh, who wins the tiebreaker on the bond between the child. Well, that goes to dad. Who knows more about the child's special needs? Well, that goes to mom. Right. So the court will look at all the factors, and sometimes when it's a very difficult decision, they'll just decide which one has the tiebreaker on each of these issues that the court considers in the OCGA 1993. And if dad has more than mom, that's where the baby is going.
And when I hear you say that, Tanya, I just can't imagine having people in my business like that.
I
know it has to happen.
Settle, I'm telling you, everything comes out. And I'm going to leave it right there.
I believe you. That's everything.
Yes.
So anything else you think is important to share with our Thank Me Later True Few community before we wrap up this content?
I think I've gone over most of it. I think the best part is, be a good mom. Make sure that you have a village to help you with your child, because just in ordinary everyday life, there could be a time when it's your parenting time and you can't pick up your child.
Right.
Or something
we
like
all
that.
need support as parents.
Yes. So, some people try to do it on their own, just like some dads try to do it on their own. But make sure you have a good, solid tribe
right.
To assist you. And even though, each of us has had a relationship that hasn't worked out and
right.
we've been angry, but just don't take that out on dad. Don't give him that satisfaction,
right.
Because he'll use your pain and weaponize it against you in court.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so when he's getting the biggest time that ladies kind of get angry with dad is when dad has gotten a new girlfriend,
new relationship,
a new fiance,
right.
new wife or whatever.
New baby.
Right. Yes, new baby. And
right.
now they're angry about everything. I'm withholding the child, and the court will penalize you for that.
Right. Because it's clearly not in the best interest of the child.
Not at all.
Right.
Not at all. So be careful, ladies. Don't lose your custody.
Right. Thank you, Tanya Mitchell Graham.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And I really want the ladies to just really take this seriously, because the reason I reached out to you is because there are so many ladies losing custody of their children because of things that they're doing that is avoidable.
It's avoidable.
All right.
So before we leave, let's share your website and your social media so people can follow you and get in touch with you.
Okay. Well, if you want to follow me, I'm on all platforms, Instagram. I'm on TikTok too, but there's no videos really. I'm definitely on Twitter.
Okay.
And that's at TMGESQ.com. Well, actually, TMGESQ, and then my website is TMGESQ.com. It's just I keep it consistent.
Right.
Branding, that's who I am.
Right.
And then if they want to follow the law firm, which, we post some stuff.
Right.
I might post a photo with you.
Right.
That's at TMGPC.
So if you want to engage with me personally, of course, you can follow me on Instagram at Janai Thornton. And then, of course, you need to follow us at TML Money. And if you're watching this, of course, that means you're already part of the True Few community. And that is thankmelater.money. But of course, you need to invite your girlfriends and your relatives, of course, only your female relatives. But let's make sure that all your family and friends get to benefit from this amazing information. So this is Tanya Mitchell Graham with the Law Offices of Tanya Mitchell Graham. Thank you so much for being our subject matter expert for all things family law.
Thank you.
And for looking out for our Thank Me Later True Few community. And thank you all for engaging with us. And any questions that you have, any other topics that you would love to have Tanya Mitchell Graham cover, please let us know. All right. Thank you for joining us.
And thank you for bringing this information to your community. I think it's so important to have.
It certainly is.
And they really need this information. And sometimes they're afraid to ask these questions.
Definitely afraid. Thanks again, Tanya
Thank
Mitchell
you.
Graham. See you, everybody.